What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
What up, Killer? Killer got the hater blockers on today. Okay, I see you.
Hey, now I got into a fight with my diet and I lost, so I got a black eye. So I'm trying to,
Sheesh. It be like that.
hey, I'm working my way back though. I'm working my way back. So, but we don't want to, run it too far, too long. But hey, if you are watching these episodes and commenting, trust me, we are reading the comments. We thank you for every compliment or every feedback that you guys give us to make sure that we are doing a better job each and every week. So if you haven't comment, subscribe to make sure that you catch all of our lives and all of our new content each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Other than that, y'all know the show is also sponsored by Chulaware. Use the code Carolina Muscle or ESHEL10 at checkout and save you a little bit of money. I know I'm a little bit blurry. It's gonna come in. There we go. Bow. Maybe. No. Okay. So today we have our first episode of When to Hang It Up. And also, we have to continue our championship series. So this is a 2-for-1. So Jamal, tell them who we got coming on.
Man, we got a mom. We got a wife.
Okay.
We got a personal trainer.
Okay.
We got a 2-time Yorton Cup bikini pro.
The first,
if I'm not mistaken, the first to do it.
Okay.
Man, me and her seen each other towards the end of the year a lot. We ran into each other a lot at some of the shows. But as you know, we have Gillian Vaughn.
Welcome to the stage.
What's going on? This is like her third or fourth time on the show, isn't it? Jesus.
I think so.
Yes.
You're officially a repeat offender.
No, I'm honored. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today.
I think the cool thing, and I'll go into this real quick, and then we'll get into all the questions. But I think the cool thing about this was we had you on when we said, hey, Julian's one of the contenders to win the Yorton. I think that was the first time coming on. Then the second time was when you won it. And then you came back and saw us again. So we appreciate you coming back to see little us at the each and every win, making sure that we get a little bit of our TV time with you.
Hey, I was wondering what took you guys so long. I thought something was off this time. I was like, they don't want me this year. I'm old news.
You're always welcome on the show. Us North Carolina folks got to stick together. You're always welcome.
That's right.
All right. So let's hop into the topic. So, of course, we're going to fact check that because, we don't like to spit false information because we get called out a lot. Apparently, we say something wrong, we get called out a lot. So we want to make sure that you are the first 2-time, but it was advertised as, you're a 2-time bikini winner. So which win felt better, the first one or the second one?
So this time was more emotional. This time for sure. And I a lot of my pictures, they look ugly because I'm trying not to cry. This win was definitely more emotional. I don't know, which one was a better win for me. But this one was definitely more emotional because I didn't know if I was even gonna be able to get there towards the end. It was really taxing on my body this go round. This prep was just really, really hard for a few different reasons. And I think, as you guys know, I did multiple shows leading up into Yorton, and that was just, Yorton was the ultimate win, of course. And I think all of my emotions just came flooding down on me. So this one, I really was fighting back the tears, and Yorton the second time was the most emotional. And again, I have been told that I'm the only one to be able to win it, 2 times. So just that honor, and that challenge that I put myself through, it was a very emotional journey this time.
Absolutely. So the question I have, I think you pretty much replicated the same thing you did last year. Last year, you had a run towards the end of the year. You put a couple shows together, and then you went into the Yorton, and you did the same thing this year. Was that by design?
Yes. I did one more show this year than I did last year. I did Colorado.
And that's where I seen you at.
Yes. Yeah. So I do like to do that. I like to compete before Yorton because The idea is to improve every time, right? So we put me on stage, a month or so before Yorton, see what I look like, see how we need to pull things in a little bit. Each time I step on stage, I'm looking to improve for Yorton. So for me, it was always my goal to do several shows before. This time
Okay. And some people can say that's kind of risky. So for you,
yeah.
was the risk um was the risk there? Because some people can only peak once and that's it. So you peaked what, 3 different times, because you did Colorado, Apex, Minnesota, and then you went into the Yorton.
Yes, yes. So I've done it before. Last year that was a big worry of mine. How would my body respond to that? And I did well. So I knew that I could do it. I knew that I could. And I've done Yorton. This was my fourth Yorton. So I've always competed leading into it. The thing I didn't expect was the worry and risk of failure before Yorton. Okay, so I had one Yorton last year, and I talked with you a little about this, Jamal, and you said I forgot your exact word, lean into the pressure, or, don't let it get you down, basically. But when I was getting ready to do Colorado, the very first one, that was August 16th or 14th. So like 5-6 weeks before Yorton, I thought to myself, what if I don't do well? What if I don't place? What if I don't look lean enough? Where's that gonna put me in my headspace leading into Yorton? Why did I commit to do all these shows? And then what if I don't do well? That would have really, you guys know as competitors, that would have really messed you up leading into Yorton, right? I mean, you kind of did the same thing too, Jamal. You made a run for it too. What if I'd have failed myself?
Well, Gillian, to be honest with you, I would have rather failed doing the 6 shows that I did instead of, and I'm not even going to say I failed at the Yorton, but I would have rather, lost one of the earlier shows and won the Yorton. But that's
right.
That's neither here or there.
Well, I think that it would have made me feel like if I hadn't have placed in those shows or done well, it would have made me feel like that I wouldn't do well at Yorton. It would have got in my head. I'll admit that, and you can say, oh, you want, oh, don't let it get in your head. But I'm just being real. It would have messed me up, and then I had to sit back and think to myself, but what if you do well? You'll never know. If you don't do it, you're never gonna know. So take the risk, and that's what I did. And with each show, I ended up winning, so I would have that confidence. I'd be up here, right? And then a little bit of doubt would try and creep in again, and then I'd do another show and I won, and so it'd bring me back. It was a roll. I was up and down. It was a roller coaster, man. It was a wild ride.
All right, and you said something while you were speaking about pressure, and we always talk about the big P word, pressure. Because whether it's self-inflicted or whether other people give it to us, because I think leading into the first year you won, you didn't have pressure. Like, people knew who you was. You were dominating shows, you were winning shows. I think people basically were like, you're the heir apparent because did the previous winner compete when you competed? I think.
Are you talking about last year?
Yeah, your first year. Did the previous winner compete that year?
My very first Yorton?
No. So when you won your first Yorton,
no, Issa didn't compete last year.
Okay, so the previous winner didn't compete in your first Yorton. So people were just like, you won a show before that, so you was like the heir apparent. So people are giving you pressure. But I think usually after you win the title, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you apply the pressure to yourself. Like, you have a pressure that you develop on yourself. It's self-inflicted. Nobody else is really saying it. Well, most people are like, are you going to repeat? Are you going to repeat? But usually you add a lot more pressure to yourself. So how did you manage that? I know you said you competed, when you're winning shows, it kind of lessened. But can you give some advice? Because we try to give a little bit of advice on this show to whether it's an amateur who's competing for that pro card that put pressure on themselves to do well, or whether it's that pro that's trying to get that first win, or somebody who's trying to repeat like yourself. How do you handle that pressure?
Well, for this year for Yorton, I just knew, looking back, history shows usually the same person that won the year before doesn't win again. Even my coach was like, Gillian, you just don't normally see that. I think she was just trying to prepare me. So I just wanted to bring the best that I could. And, we talked about how do you know if you can peak well at each show. As long as I could bring my best physique, I was okay with it. Of course, I wanted to do well. of course, winning was going to be like the best honor, but like I said, history shows that usually the same person doesn't win 2 years in a row. So I was okay with that. You just have to step back. Always just step back, take a deep breath. Like Jamal said, lean into the pressure. If you're doing something that you feel pressure, that's a good thing, right? You're challenging yourself. If you don't take the risk, you'll never know. So again, to me, not taking that risk is worse. Never knowing, that's worse for me. So just do it. Just bring your best, and try not to think about that pressure. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. We all feel it, but just do it. Don't think about it. That's what I had to do.
Absolutely. And I remember another conversation that we had down in Minnesota. You was asking me some advice because some people told you that you might be coming in a little bit too hard for a bikini. So right. Did you make that adjustment and pull back, or did you just say, hey, I'm going to bring what I know, been winning the last 3 shows I've done, what got me here last year and won, so I'm going to just do that. Did you stick to what you know, or did you listen to the quote-unquote outside noise?
Well, this outside noise was basically a judge. So I feel like they and someone that I respect, okay, someone whose opinion matters. So no, I really took that to heart. So Minnesota was the last one before Yorton, and me and my coach had kind of talked about maybe I would come in a little bit leaner, right? That's what I did. Colorado, each show I did, I was leaner, right? But Minnesota, I was exactly where I needed to be. And this person that gave me that feedback, I really respect. So no, I did not. I listened. I did not come in any leaner. I didn't. I tried to maintain and stay where I was. For Minnesota.
All right, just playing devil's advocate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if that didn't turn out the way it did? What if you would have, what if you came in a little bit softer or whatnot, and somebody else came in a bit harder, boom, and dethroned you?
I don't know, because for me, I agreed with it.
Right.
That's why I like being on stage, because you can look at yourself and take pictures all you want until you got that tan and you're on that stage and you see those pictures, or your coach sees you in person. You don't know. So we knew, and I've been doing this long enough. We knew the look that I needed to have and achieve. And so after I was on stage at Minnesota, even my coach was like, "No, you don't. We agree." So it was spot on. But that's where you have to have a good coach, right?
Absolutely.
And it pays with somebody. We've been working together for years. We know usually how my body is going to respond, what I need to look like. So that's valuable information. Each show you do, you take away from that prep. What did we learn? What did we learn from this prep to change things or to stay the same for next time?
So I'm listening to this conversation. I find it funny because it's almost like and I hear both sides, and definitely when you get respectable feedback from a reputable source, you definitely want to make the adjustments. But then it's also that, like I said, that devil's advocate side of Jamal talking about if an amateur won a specific show a certain way or a pro won a show, and then you tell me, oh yeah, don't come in like this. But that's what won me the show. That exact reason, won me the show. So why should I change it? So I know that's a very heavy spot for a lot of athletes who, are going through that. So like you said, I think the most important part of that is having the proper coach. So I think you shouted it out perfectly because
exactly.
they should make their adjustments.
You get better years and years. Each year that you compete, you get more information. You're working with that coach. That's valuable information that you can take into your next prep.
Gotcha, for sure. And so we also wanted to dig in, we didn't want to make this whole episode about the Yorton because you made an announcement, So we want to get into the lifestyle, like Jamal mentioned, your mother, your wife, so you're a personal trainer outside of the gym. Outside of the stage. So I think the announcement was that you're retiring, or let's say you're taking a step away from the stage, right?
Right.
And we had an episode 2 years ago that we basically talked about when is it time to hang it up, and we were just talking about ending a season. When is it time to hang up the season? But when do you know it's time to step away from the stage?
And that's going to be definitely a personal, call for each individual. And it's something that I had kind of toyed with the last couple of years. If you talk to my coach, I definitely voiced it last year. I said if I win Yorton, I'm gonna take a break, and then here I come back, right? But this year for me, it was a few things that made me decide for sure that I need either a really long break or I'm done. I'll never say never, but I feel like I am done competing. And I've been competing for 6 years in a row. It's very taxing on your body, not taking a longer off season. This prep was harder on me. I'm still kind of trying to get things back to normal. We're like 5-6 weeks out from a show, and I'm not completely stable, like hormone wise. So that's one reason. Also, it became so hard to be in prep because my body was fighting against me that my family life suffered. I've always been able to hold it together. I've always been a big advocate for don't let prep interfere with your family life, your personal life, or as much as possible, right? And I have a great support system, but I want to be there for my kids. I want to go to their sporting events, and I want to have the energy, and this year wasn't like that. I didn't have that energy. I didn't want to do things. I found myself staying at home, missing out on a lot. And I don't want, my kids are growing up quick, and I don't want to miss out on things. So I just kind of feel like it's definitely time for a break for my health, and for my personal life too.
Man, I definitely feel that. It's funny because I wanted last year to be like I was going to pretty much walk away last year. I was like, let me get my third cup, and I was going to be done. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So I got drugged right back into the fire because that's just who I am. Like, I don't like I want to leave the game on my own terms. I don't want to leave on nobody else's terms, right? So then, came back this year and it didn't quite happen. But it's because I'm pretty much at the point you are. Like I'm ready. Well, I am going to walk away. Once I finish my season this year, I got one more show, and that's it for me. And I had a hell of a resume the last 4 years, competing in the OCB. I don't think, and I'm not trying to be, I don't think any other competitor went on a run in that short amount of time that I did and stacked up as many wins as I did and have
Right.
2 Yorton Cups. So I totally feel you on that. But my question is, did the joy go away at all
The
this
competing
year?
joy of competing, you mean?
Yes.
It did. I got burnt out, yeah, because I just knew, like, after Colorado, I went on vacation. I went to the beach, and I've normally been able to hold it together within reason. Of course, we're tired and all that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything, man. My family would go out to the beach, and I stayed up in the house a lot. I didn't like that. And so feeling like that, it took the joy out of competing, and I didn't like that. A great word is I was burnt out. It burnt me out, and I've never had that happen before. But you can't feel like that and not get burnt out, but I committed to it. I had to push through. So Apex in Minnesota and Yorton, they were hard. It was hard. Like, there was a lot of tears, man. You can ask my family, and I still had to work. I still had to be a mom as much as I could. Like life didn't stop, but it did. It burnt me out. I feel that.
All right, so that poses my question here about your decision, because this is the real reality of it. This is the real side that nobody really talks about bodybuilding. I mean, we always see the glorious stage shots. We see, the check-in photos and everything that
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to smile and be about, right?
Right.
So would you say your decision was because you were more mentally burnt out or physically burnt out?
I felt it more physically, I guess, this time, which is a sign that, your body's not healthy, right? I've done many preps and never felt the fatigue and just just the body aches. I told my husband, I said, it feels like I have the flu, but I don't have the fever. I feel like I had the flu. Like, that was truly it. So I feel like mine was more physical, but that worries me because I'm concerned about my health, right? I'm concerned that, your body talks to you, right? You got to listen to it, and I'm trying to listen to it. The reason I never say never is we've all been in these situations in life, right, where you feel so bad, right? You feel bad, and so you make a decision, and then you forget. Things go normal, they're stable, and you forget how bad you felt, right? So I say never, but I'm 43, right? Um, and I don't know if I give myself a few years off. I don't know how I'm gonna feel or be, a few years from now when I'm in my mid to later 40s. So who knows? If I was in my 30s, I would never have said I'm retiring. I say I'm just gonna take a long break. But with my age and my personal circumstances, I probably am done. But I still want to be very involved in the OCB. I'm a judge, so I would like to continue doing that. And I just want to be a part. I don't want to erase it. It's a part of me. I don't want to erase that. I still want to be, backstage. I just won't be in a bikini. And I'll be sad. I'm sure I will be.
Hey, 10 years down the road, when you haven't stepped on stage, you can't be walking around talking about, oh well, I'm a bikini pro. Nah, dog. Hey, you done retired that card too.
I can't say that.
No,
you can claim it forever. You can claim it forever. Don't listen to him. You can claim it forever.
Yeah, right. I am bikini pro forever.
Make sure you say two-time Yorton Cup champion when you 55. Don't worry.
Hey Jamal, I still want you to make me a shirt. Remember, I told you I want a shirt that says. I said if I won Yorton, I think it was Minnesota, right? We stood there in that lobby. I said if I win Yorton again, I need a 2-time Yorton Cup winner.
Shirt. I got you. I'm gonna make that happen for you. I got you.
You let me know.
Yep. So with you not competing anymore, is your lifestyle going to change as far as you still working out and hitting the gym hard every day? Anything like that? Is that going to change?
I love that. That's the easy part. Working out is easy for me. I love that. And nutrition, I'm not going to be strict like in prep, of course, but I still track my food. Now, have I been perfect? Absolutely not. I am a little more relaxed. But I do want to still continue to track my food just because I want to know, am I getting, the right amount of protein in and not overeating on my fats and carbs. But no, the training part, I love that. That was another thing, too. When I was in the depths of prep, I hated working out, because I felt so bad. Like that, I had no energy. But now I'm killing it, man. I got all my energy again. I feel good. So I will always work out. That's a part of my life. And I know it's a part of y'all's life, too.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a
personal trainer. It's my job.
I have a 2-part question, and if Jamal, this can end it, or if Jamal has something else, then
I got one more question. Then we gotta do the top 5 with her.
Okay, you got a top 5. Go ahead and think of the top 5. Think of it. So I have a 2-part question, and Jamal will ask his. Okay, so my 2-part question is: 1, what would you want to be remembered as a competitor? So if someone was like, Gillian was this as a competitor, what would that be? And oftentimes, and I think we probably all went through a phase where bodybuilding was our personality. People associated us with bodybuilding. So who is Gillian now that she's stepping away? We're going to say stepping away.
Okay. I hope that people remember me as being friendly, humble, honest. I try and just be real, like when we're backstage, I love to have conversation with people. I love to meet new people, but that's me in real life. I hope that the person that they meet, when I am Gillian in the bikini and all tan, I'm the same person in real life. I met Jamal. I met your client backstage at Apex. Annika, she comes up to me and she didn't know anybody. I didn't know that, And she told me later that she was afraid to approach me at first because I don't know why, but you told her that I was nice. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known that she was feeling like that. I never want anybody to feel like that they can't approach me. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. I'll help you, and I feel like we're all back like that backstage. But I hope people remember me as that I'm just a real honest person and again, I try and be that in my everyday life. And then your second question was, I forgot. You said,
who are you now that you're stepping away? What is your identity now?
well, again, I mean, I think I'll always identify as a bodybuilder just because I want to still continue to improve my physique. I want to still, lift heavy. But that's not my only life. Like I'm a mom. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a friend. So it's just a small part of my life, but I'm still gonna lift those weights. No worries there.
Okay.
All right, and my last question to you, and this ain't me trying to be messy. This is me just trying to get your honest opinion. Give me the one person that you think has a great chance of getting the cup next year in bikini.
Oh yeah, Nikki, the
She
girl
came
that won.
second to you this year, right?
She did, and I'll tell you what, she gave me a run for my money because
Yeah,
in
because you've
Minnesota,
seen her at Minnesota also.
right, and it was close there. So I was worried about her. But you know what? You talk about a nice, humble, friendly person. That's her and genuine. Like I'm rooting for her, and the improvements that she made from last year. Like we stepped back, and I was like, she's gonna give me a run for it. I mean, amazing. And she does all of her workout or most of her workouts at home. Like if she's the true definition of, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. If you want it, you can go after it. For whatever reason, her lifestyle, she has to do her workouts at home. But look at how awesome she looks. So next year, be on the lookout for her. Yep, she's gonna be the one to watch.
I have a funny story about Nikki. Like I met her at Masters Nationals, and she ran up to me, and like you said, when you're talking about like energy, like like you competing tomorrow. Like how do you have this much energy?
Right.
But bundle of energy, she's just like, and I'm pretty sure she talks to you, and like it was like no malice behind it, but she's just like, I'll never get my shot at Gillian again. Like she was so upset. She was like, she's gonna retire. I can't. She was like, she's been on my list. She beats me every time, but she was super like she spoke nothing but highly of you. But she is a really good person. Like I said, that was the first time me and her had like an actual interaction. And I'm talking about energy filled, but really good person. So I second all the things you said.
Did she win that show?
I'm not sure.
No, she didn't. The same girl, and I don't know her, that won the last few years, won Masters Nationals.
I'm not sure. We got to get Nikki on now. We definitely got to get her on.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Gillian, before we let you go, my last question to you, we're going to end on a positive note because it's been positive this whole time. Name me, I'm going to keep it short. Give me 3 people that's been influential and that's impacted your bodybuilding career thus far.
Well, definitely the owner of my gym. His name is Brian. He's the one that he's the real reason that I got involved in bodybuilding to begin with. He believed in me, and he helped me get started. I don't know if I would have ever had the confidence or the belief in myself to do it if it wasn't for him to even start, right? And then my husband, of course, because especially this year, I couldn't have done it without him. He completely took over. He said, you know what? You need to go to bed, I got everything. And he did. He really took over all of my parental responsibilities. And I felt bad. I felt guilty, but it wasn't because of him. That was all me. And I want to say just really all of the third is people, right? Just being every show that I did, all the people that I would meet, just the atmosphere, the vibe of the competitors backstage. They really influenced me a lot because especially the more that people got to know me, I won Yorton last year, so people saw my face, right? They knew who I was. I had so many people approach me this year. I was not expecting that. Like sweet ladies want to get their picture taken with me, introduce themselves to me. So it gave me so many opportunities to meet people that I never would have had before. So, you know, that was an honor and something I didn't expect this year. So I just want to give a shout out to all the competitors out there. Keep that vibe going, man. Like, OCB, we're supposed to be a family. We're supposed to cheer each other on. You know, we're all in this. We're all doing the same thing. We might be competing against each other, but we're all going through the same thing. So support each other and be nice. You know, like, be friendly. I really enjoy that vibe. I appreciated that a lot. I'll miss that. That's what I'm sad about. I'm sad about that. The being backstage and meeting different people. That's why I want to stay involved.
Absolutely. And I don't think this is, you know, goodbye. It's just to see you later. I have a feeling that you're going to be back on stage here in a couple of years.
I hear you.
I just got that feeling.
I hear you. Well, again, I never say never because, I mean, you know, we've all had situations in life where you said never, and then here you go crawling back. But it's going to be a while. My body needs a break.
Absolutely.
So do we have a top five? Or we want to end it on the great note we just got?
Man, let's just end it. Great interview, you know. Next time I see you, I need an autograph. I might try to sell it on eBay or something, you know what I'm saying?
I'll autograph that shirt you're gonna make me, right?
Got you. You
gotta make sure when she gets 55 and you have that 2-time signature, that's when it's gonna be worth the most. I'm telling you, that's why she got to claim it till she's 55.
That's right.
But Gillian, you know, we always appreciate when you come on. It's always a pleasure to have you on, have another conversation, always get into the mindset, because we always say we want to also have more ladies on that, you know, have their opinion and their side to share. So we appreciate you for coming on. But guys, until next time, peace.
Peace.